Hello my friends, my name is Gorilla and welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over a 24 DOS that was done on a Necrotic Spiteful week. On weeks like these, all your forms of CC, like Paralysis, Leg Sweep, and Ring of Peace are your greatest friends. Even with some mistakes here and there, this queue is a lot of fun, and I hope you learned something from it. Enjoy. Alright, so we're starting off in this key by doing the usual invis skip. It's been getting popularity in a bit of the higher keys. It's mainly because Lust and cooldowns are kind of wasted on that pack, so it's better to just get Lust right off the bat on a better pack. So now we're going to Lust, and the only cooldown I really need to use here is Fallen Order. Nothing else is really needed. At this point, I was also saving Gigi just because I know that Mask is coming up right after this. Right here, I Ring of Peace just to not only let the tank kite, but also it's going to give the melee a little bit of leeway when it comes to Spiteful. And right there, I just roll past mine, and I start to kite clean Jade Lightning since mine is still in range. Right here, we skip past the Mask for right now, because it's in a really bad padding position. And a lot of groups, they mostly just do the Mask just with the urn, but this bear wanted to do it with the Raptor pack as well. So we're going to bring up these Raptors up to the urn. And now we play the waiting game. On healing masks, most of the time it is just using a CD whenever a rage comes out. On higher keys you can be using several CDs, and then on other ones use defensives. We do this a little bit early, so we are going to get the rage a little earlier than expected. Ring of Peace a Spiteful away. And here this comes. I pop both defenses so I don't need to be healed. Now the Mask is done. Thankfully we did not have to deal with any more rages, or else it would have gotten really sketchy. I'm going to pop Gigi on this pull. Tank's going to be taking a lot of damage since he doesn't have Incarn up. And it's good to just put it on CD since not many packs upcoming are going to be very scary. These warlords can be really, really scary. Just for the tank. No one else it's scary for. They're mainly scary just because you can't in-cap, you can't Ring of Peace, you can't tail sweep. You kind of just have to heal up your tank by brute force. The only thing you can really do to help him out is Tiger's Lusting him, and that's really it. Now we're heading to the Mana Storms. We decided for less time to go Mana Storms first. Some people decide to go Zaxa first, but it's kind of a waste in many situations. Verve is a great place to use Fallen Order. Pull's almost over now, And we're going to skip the drill in this run. Drills are just a huge waste of time and can be easily made up in Art and Wield. But doing the drill just takes so much random time out of your schedule, and it's just kind of a waste. I'm going to get a drink just to wait for it to move. It doesn't move, so we just book it. I'm just going to use Fallen Order here. Normally the strategy in this pack is just to stun whenever they start spinning, and that's really it. Normally you do focus a dog. It's the most tank heavy ad here. I use Ring of Peace there just to get them away since they were about to start spinning and they're also going to die, so Spiteful's going to spawn soon. Something that's interesting with Spiteful too as a monk is that you can roll past them and not get meleeed. It's kind of tight, but it's doable. So we disable the slimes there, I Tiger's Lust, and now we're going to Invis Pop past. Lubricators are also just kind of slow to deal with, and you just make it up in Art and Wield. I could use Chi-Ji here, but I decided Fodder was a better answer. Chi-Ji's going to be better on boss. These guys are really, really scary. Most of the time, you just have to coordinate your stuns and your kicks. Ring of Peace is really great in this pull because it does work as a stun. Or, better way to use it is a backup interrupt. This boss is fairly simple in practice. Most of the time it's just making sure that the crystals are soaked. Most of the time you don't soak them into either the tank or the DPS, but sometimes you will have to. Second part for Millhouse is just making sure that you and your other laser partner are on opposite sides of the boss so that he gets hit. It really kind of sucks for healers, especially melee healers, because we do have to deal with majority of the bombs. DPS are too busy DPSing, so we kind of have to go run out of our way. GG is really, really great at this part. Gives you free enveloping mist for the tank, and allows you to easily heal up those small little bursts of damage on the entire party. From here, it's just a rinse and repeat. Right there, I just bubble a tank. It does a lot of damage to the tank, so using bubble right there is always a smart decision, especially when we have very limited resources. Right here, we kind of forgot to lust right when it was up, but it's up now. We're going to skip the drill once again. Skipping drills can be really scary going back out. Now we're going to be going on to the mask. It is a tyrannical week, so it won't hurt as bad. We just gotta make sure to use our cooldowns properly. So we're gonna start with a Fallen Order. Fort Brew could have been used there by me, but I knew I didn't need it. Now we just touch a death it, and that's over. We're gonna first do this pull because we do have Incarnate. And now we use our Urn. Kind of being weird here. I know my Spiteful's up, so I'm kind of just using Crackling Jade Lightning in the back. But once it's down, the eyes are gone, I start going in again. There I just place Ring of Peace, so that the Spitefuls that are coming into melee do not bother us. Right here, I do use Fallen Order, but GG also could have worked. Either one are great options. And now we use GG. GG won't really be needed on many pulls upcoming. And I do take Sanguine Ichor here. Recently I've had a change of heart. I do think getting the haste from Incinerator is better in most scenarios, but on Tyrannical Week, I kind of had the mindset of Hakar is going to be a pain, Muzal is going to be a pain, and Zax is going to be a pain, so might as well take the thing that does a little more trickle healing. With here, it's mostly just a game of waiting. You don't have to just full on brood it. You just gotta wait. I'm gonna do a slightly big pull right here. Tank's kiting away now. This tank was really great at kiting. We double Rop. So now Spitefulls are going to be no problem. Right here, I bubble him. I know he's going to be taking a lot of damage. Right here, that wasn't really my fault. He just got kind of owned. Same with that. The thing that really sucks this week is that you can't really control your teammates. They will get hit by Spitefulls no matter how hard you try at some point. And for the tanks, you can only do so much to tell them that they need to start kiting. You really have no control over what the tank does and his movement. I always think the shield is the best option. Now we're going to be doing a massive pull with Incarn. Trucking Incarn is kind of your way to see what type of pulls you're going to start doing. Now the tank's going to want to start kiting. This pull is massive. He's going to get one shot if he stays around for too long. Spitefulls up, so I'm being very aware. Thankfully, Mistweavers kind of have a longer range compared to some of our DPS. So you can kind of get away with still using melee abilities while still not being in melee range. Now most of this stuff is dead. I'm just going to start using Crackling Jade Lightning. It's kind of your friend this week. It's probably one of the only weeks where you actually use it besides for Explosive Week. Now we're going to go around the left side. This is kind of where we make a percent for skipping so much of the stuff inside the Millhouse wing. The thing of armor wheels is kind of weird because the pulls that seem hard are easy and the pulls that seem easy are actually hard. Tank's just gonna start kiting now. The pole's dead. Now all the Spiteful on the left, so we're gonna move on out to the right. These hatchlings are so scary. Most of the time it's just you making sure that you get your CCs off. Auto mode's also kind of tough for my character. Volperas are notoriously bad at dealing with water. I see my Spiteful's up and it's just kind of clumped in the pack, so I had to be super careful right there. This is the kind of nice thing about the mana power is that you never really run out. Normally, as of recently, I take Champion's Brand over it, but it really does hurt when, for example, you're trying to go to a boss after a big pull and you just have to sit there for an extra 10 seconds for mana. Now we're going to bring the Spriggans into boss. Lust again. Last time was really, really good for this dungeon. It was maybe because we did go Mana Storms first. Normally with Spriggans, you do let your funnel classes get all damage in. Windwalkers don't let that happen, Warriors don't let that happen. So our mage's kind of suffering. Doing Spriggans this week was a little scary. Spiteful are now here. And I do get hit by my Spiteful there, which is really unfortunate. I just bubbled myself. This boss, funny enough, is going incredibly quick. Normally it just feels like a slog. And the thing with this boss fight, for the most part, it's mainly about you making sure that you can not only take, but also give your debuff away to the right people. So when you have this many melee, it's not too hard. But when you're set at puck setting and no one is in Discord, it does get a little sketchy sometimes, and mistakes are prone to happen, so be sure to have defenses up for that. Another nice thing about this fight is that you can use Transcendence to get down quicker, also avoid all the damage. Let me get back down quickly, and it's less things for me to heal. Boss is down now. Got a little sketch of my man at the end. And we're also gonna go do this first pack finally. We do need it for percent. I use both CDs here. It is kind of a scary pull for once. We don't have all our CDs up. Now we have double rot. I'm just gonna start running. No point to wait to kill those Spiteful's. Some groups nowadays do skip this pull. It's really not that bad of a pull, but some people just think it's just a lesser pull to do. But for the most part, it's just making sure that you guys have enough stuns to get rid of those devoted sacrifices, and that's mostly it. Blade Storms are really annoying. Most of the time, the only way you can really do it is just by stunning. Sometimes you can ring a piece them, but melee just don't like to be at the same general location, so sometimes they can just walk into them if you do that. I'm just standing back healing. No point for me to be inside the action when there's still a Spiteful chasing me. It's another pull where you're just coordinating with your team on stuns. Now we're gonna line of sight right here. This will be our urn. This boy, you really can't do much with it. The only thing you really do is the same thing you do with the warriors, which is stunning or incapping or piecing them away. But for the most part, it's up to your team to interrupt and for you to dispel things. Right there, the warrior just got hit by a Spiteful, and he just got hit by a ghost. Technically speaking, I could have healed him almost instantly, or I could have bubbled one. But in the heat of the moment, I just wasn't able to. Lakar's a weird fight. In some groups it can feel super smooth, in some groups it can't. But for the most part, you just use CDs whenever you see these dots come out, and you make sure that you're at an appropriate range for movement. Always make sure you also kill the ads. That's something I see a lot of groups fail to do. It'll make sure that the blood barrier is less powerful. And at this point, we are saving Lust. Most of the time, you do save Lust for a moment like this where, you know, we don't have many CDs up, but we do need to get this boss down, and the best way to do it is when the boss is around half health-ish, you then use Lust. It's getting a little scary here. This fight is another one that can just feel like a slog in most groups. Even inside a great group like this, it just feels like a slog. But the boss is done. I normally save my Touch of Death for the next boss. Mazala can be kind of tricky on the totems for Mistweavers, so saving Touch of Death for that, and also saving IQD for that are really, really good options. But we have 7 minutes now. It's looking like a guaranteed time as long as we don't absolutely royally mess up. This fight without the Oros buff, it's kind of tricky, and I don't like doing it, but it's still possible. Thankfully for the monk, you can kind of get away pretty quickly, and with Transcendence, you can always make sure that you can get to one side or the other. I always stand this little platform up here. All the melee do, it's an easy way to clump all these up. Right here, the mage gets hit. Thankfully, he was in bubble. And now we're going to two-phase this boss. Now 2 totems are down, and we just gotta rinse and repeat. Right here, I made the mistake of going the wrong way, and I don't have any movements, so I'm actually not able to get over there. Just barely missed it. It was all on me. I just got confused. And this is how I made the key a little bit closer than it should have been. So that's really, really nice about having Oros debuff is that Chi-Ji does work on it. So when you do have Chi-Ji up, you do not have to worry about the Oros debuff. You can just run away like a normal person. That's how I made sure that I was in the right position. It's where IQD becomes really handy. It's a really, really great budget on Lazala. Being able to do around like 33k, that instantly is really nice. But this boss is basically done. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.